Hey, this is Jessica Coleman, and today I'm going to be talking about potential solutions to the way that pregnancy is currently valued in society. Paid paternity leave is one option. This would make sure that men and women get equal treatment as far as paid leave goes, but we can keep it optional in case they would like to continue to work during that time. Gender discrimination in the hiring process is also an issue that could possibly be helped by this, because people that are able to get pregnant currently can be discriminated against because of the potential of them taking leave. But if either person was able to take leave when they had a child, whether they're the one that had the child or not, then that could help eliminate that discrimination altogether. So also ask yourself what's best for the child. Well, that's going to be them getting to bond with their parents for those first few months after they're born, and those parents not being under the stress of not having enough money to pay their bills during that tough time. This would also help companies not have that high cost of new employees. When people often get pregnant, they end up leaving their jobs because there's no support in them during that leave time. And then these companies have to keep bringing in new people and training them, which gives them higher costs. This also would be good for the economy, and you may ask how. Well, new families are among the most economically vulnerable in this country, and that means they can tend to fall on social assistance right after they have a kid. So in order to prevent that, we give them that support during the leave, and then they're less likely to fall on that social assistance. You also, again, want to consider those values and decide whether you want to support or not support a new mother. So education also, it needs to change. We need to just change the conversation, especially in sexual education classes specifically. They mostly focus on abstinence in many states throughout the country, if not all of them. And teens will be teens, so we need to just accept that and realize that we need to prepare them for those situations. This is not also only a girl and women's issue, which it is often treated as. We need to teach boys and men about safe sex as well, and change the narrative altogether around parenting. We need to show that men and women should be equal partners and equal as parents. Company-funded parental leave is also another solution that we could use. This would be where companies are required to pay for the leave. We could exclude small businesses and only include things like big corporations that can afford to pay for things like this. We would set requirements for eligibility, or the companies would set those requirements. And the only thing about this is it can be not as reliable, and the guidelines could get a little fuzzy. So if the government mandated some requirements for people to be able to get that paid leave, and also made a minimum amount of pay that those people were getting during that leave, this could solve some of those issues, so that way people can't just join onto a company and get hired and immediately go on leave and take advantage of that sort of system. So some tax plans that could also work instead of it being company funded is we could reinstate that inheritance tax that we just recently got rid of. It only affects anyone who inherits money within millions of dollars. It just varies on how many millions per year. This used to bring in over $2 billion a year, and it affects less than 99.9% of people. Also with this, we would exclude farmers because it can also usually be damaging to them because they tend to own a lot of land, which would add to their overall how much they would or could inherit. Another thing is a new type of tax system, and instead of me explaining it, I have a couple videos that might do a little bit of a better job, so go ahead and watch those and I'll see you back here in a second.